Feck yeah! That was a 2009 US spec Ford Explorer. I've just fitted a right front wheel bearing. That's got to be one of the easiest wheel bearings I've ever had to fit. It was rear wheel drive, by the way. There were no drive shafts in the front, which was good. I'll show you this wheel bearing, but before I do, we don't generally do American cars here. And of course, when I ring up our local suppliers and give them the registration number, they don't really list that vehicle because it's US spec, obviously. But I went on the internet and I found US Automotive in Bedford, which is like 20 miles down the road from us. And I want to say thanks because what a company. I had, you know, the guy on the selling the parts was absolutely fantastic, really helpful. Said, yeah, get your chassis number, blah, 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 done. Yeah, mate, we've got that on the shelf. No problem. So, US Automotive, wonderful, excellent service. Got the wheel bearing, banged it on, 3 bolts. I'll show you this bearing because this has to be one of the worst wheel bearings I've ever heard. Have a look at this. For those with eagle eyes out there, you'll notice the 3 bolt holes. This is the same as like Vauxhall Astras, stuff like that. They just bolt into the hub. You can actually unbolt this without taking the hub off. And then the only trouble is they can seize up here where they slide into the hub. This one actually, with a few taps, it come off. I was well impressed. Yeah, listen to this. In actual fact, let me do it in my hand, it'd be easier. I'll tell you what, I drove this up the road and flipping heck, the noise was absolutely horrendous. It was like a bloody aircraft taking off. Yep, that was a particularly bad one. Mind you, the new bearing come with a new ABS wire. That's always a bonus. I will say though, they know how to charge for these things. £207 that cost. That's a lot of money for a bearing. See ya! Hello guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video. I haven't put one out for a little while. Sorry about that. Things have been a little bit busy here. We've got a lot of our taxis going for their annual taxi test. It certainly keeps me occupied. I don't even have anything to show you today. So I figured what I'll do, I'll just walk around the garage, show you what's going on in real time. Like a day in the life of Steve's Taxis. Anyway, a couple of you have left comments on my YouTube channel talking about the Ford have announced, finally, they're going to end production of the Mondeo in March 2022. I kind of guess I should give you my thoughts on it. If I go back to 1995, that's when we first got our Mark 1 Mondeos here. They were 1.8 TDIs, and they followed on from what we originally had here, which were Ford Sierras, clapped out Ford Sierras. They were like, whoa! I mean, these were brand spanking new cars. They were so futuristic, well, they were compared to a Ford Sierra. And as we found out later on, the bodywork on the Mark 1s and the Mark 2s, they weren't great. They tended to rust quite well. And I look back now and it's like, where are they? They've all gone. It just goes to show how certain cars have a shelf life and they don't last that long. I could talk about Austin Maestros. They were even worse. When they brought out the Mark III Mondeo, however, in the year 2000, they have got to be the ultimate iconic Mondeo. Well, to me they are. I absolutely love them cars. And today they still look the part. The Mark IV Mondeo was like a more sleeker design, very smooth drive, not on the edge as much as the Mark III, not as edgy, but very smooth and stylish. I like the Mark IVs though. I could do a long journey in one of those cars. The Mark V, however, I've got mixed feelings. They are a beautiful motor car, don't get me wrong. They look the part, but the problem is, to me, Ford was always a car for every man. And they seem to have raised the bar with the Mark V a bit too high. They look too prestige, too high class, and they've got a price tag to match. I mean, most people can't afford a Mark V. If you can, you're laughing. You've got one hell of a car. It's got a lot of gear in it. But it's just out of the price range of a lot of people. And I think due to a lot of things, they didn't sell that well. Not nearly as well as the Mark IV or the Mark III. But anyway, we all knew it was coming. If you do own a Mark V, then you've certainly got a lovely car. I don't know what to say, guys. It's going to be a bit sad to see him go. But there again, it's been 29 years. The world keeps moving on. We have to move on with it. I've certainly got a lot of memories. I'm glad I made the videos of the Mark V. Because in 2015, when we got our first Mark V Mondeos here, that was when I started making videos on them. So I've done my little bit for the world. I've done my little bit for the Mondeo owners. I'm thinking now, also, this company, Steve's Taxis, I think is going to be changing in a fairly large way shortly. So, talking about this YouTube channel as well, this may well be kind of like coming to an end as far as the Mark V go. So I'm going to have to find something else to talk about. I don't know what at the minute. In the next few months, I guess I'm going to have to work something out. Anyway, I guess what we're I wonder what he wants. What have you found?
I found it! Open circuit, broken wire.
Oh, so Matt and his airbag job.
Which relates to an open circuit.
Can we see? Can we see?
You can come and have a look by all means.
Yeah, Matt's had to remove the actual passenger seat, lift it up to get underneath it, and just here there's a yellow connector, and there. It's like the wires are broken. So,
you don't want to do it, right? Don't pull it off.
Well done for finding that, Matt. You could have been in a whole world of shit.
Well, we've got the fix, don't you worry.
Yeah, excellent. Brilliant. Good job. So yeah, this is what I've been doing for about the last flipping 2 weeks. Taxi tests. Lots of them. When you've got like 30 odd cars going for their taxi test. And by the way, this is a good opportunity to get everything done. And I can guarantee you, what seems to happen is you'll get these in, despite the fact they get regular servicing, they'll still come in here and there'll be a rattling flywheel, a leaking thermostat, a leaking EGR, the alternator will be buggered, God, brakes will need changing. So yeah, it certainly keeps me busy. By the way, just in case anyone wants to know, because some people actually look at the registration numbers and say, there's no MOT on that car. These are taxis. Depending what county you're in England, they have different laws depending on what council. They have various different laws. So basically these cars here in Huntingdonshire, they do not have a class 4 MOT because these are solely used for hire and reward. So they have what's called a council test. And if they pass, they get a certificate of compliance, is what it's called, not an MOT ticket. By the way, it's a £300 certificate. That's what it costs. The station that actually does the test probably gets an MOT fee for it, but the council gets most of the wallah. So there you go, now you know. Anyway, let's move on. Just going to pop up the body shop. I'm going to collect a car that's been in a little bit of an accident, but it was like a self-inflicted accident. I shall be needing my shades to bring this car back. You'll see why in a minute. Taxi!
All aboard!
How much to Walkenbury?
£25.
Let's go. Yeah. We've got a BMW to pick up. It hasn't got a windscreen in it for some reason. I wonder why, Matt. Do you know why?
I think somebody might have driven it with the bonnet undone.
Exactly. Somebody's driven it with the bonnet undone, and of course, if you don't shut a bonnet on a car, I can guarantee the safety catch won't work either. And the result will be, smashed windscreen, smashed roof. What do you say?
Nice bent bonnet.
Exactly. Anyway, let's get up the body shop. They've just fixed the roof, by the way, so we're going to drive it back. There we are. There's car sales. Hello, car sales. How's it going? Yeah, we use Merkit's Body Shop for a lot of our work. They're like a BMW. They're BMW, aren't they? I'm sure they are. Merkit's a BMW. They do like.
Aren't they Vauxhall?
I think they used to be Vauxhall and BMW together. But the body shop's up here in Alconbury, sort of like tucked away. But they do a bloody good job. So yeah.
Well, they painted my bumper. They've done a cracking job of that.
Yeah, that's actually what bumper did you have painted?
RS5 front bumper for an Audi.
Yeah, that had to be a proper job, didn't it? And what kind of job did you get?
Oh, top notch. Very pleased with the work.
And was it pricey?
No.
Right, here we are. I'm going to leave my shades on when I drive this car back, because if you ever tried driving a car with no bloody windscreen in it, your eyes are going to be streaming. You made a nice few dents in that bonnet, in that bloody roof there. It completely trashed the bonnet, but that's a brand spanking new bonnet, just been painted, all fitted. In actual fact, let's make sure this one's down. And no, it wasn't me who was driving it when the bonnet flew up, it was somebody else. We're going to stop at car sales and say hello, then we're going to head back down to the garage and put the windscreen in. So the one thing with body shops, they get covered in dust everywhere. Flipping mirror. I'm going to get this car back, if I can adjust the seat. Oh, it's got electric seats. Well, like I say, we'll stop at car sales and say hello to Monica first. Let's go and say hello to Mrs. Monica. Money! How's it? Oh! Who are you? I haven't seen you before.
I'm Fran.
You're Fran. Guess what, Fran? You're on bloody YouTube now.
God.
YouTube lad wants to see ya. They'll all be cheering.
That's so embarrassing. Okay.
How's it going?
Great.
Morning.
Awesome.
Anyway, Fran, nice to meet you.
And you.
What were you saying to Molly about Instagram?
If you could follow our Steve's Car Sales Instagram. Yeah. I'll show you it.
Right, so we're going to put Steve's Car Sales Instagram on our YouTube channel in our community tab. So if anybody wants to go and see that, go to the community tab. I don't use it much, but I'll try to use it more in the future. Anyway, ladies, nice to see you.
And you.
You know, time is money, got to get back to work. See you later, bye. Anyway, let's get back down the other garage and see what the hell's going on. Woohoo! Do you know what? Many years ago, and this was a bloody long time ago, we had a taxi here. It was a Mark III Ford Granada, silver one, and I'd just fixed it. I can't remember what I'd done to it, but I took it up the road, and I hadn't shut the bonnet. And of course, the bonnet safety catch didn't work either, obviously. So I got to 50 miles an hour going up this bypass bit of road, and the bonnet, I'm telling you, the bonnet went like, wallop! It was like so flipping fast, it was unbelievable. All I could do was like brake and stop because I couldn't see a goddamn thing. Bonnet was wrapped. It had totally smashed the windscreen, bloody dented all the roof in, Like to get out of the car in the middle of nearly, it was sort of like a dual carriageway, flipping, push the bonnet back down and then sort of like crawl back to the garage, looking like a right jackass. But yeah, that only ever happened to me once, and that was, I don't know, a long time ago. And from that day, every single time I do a job, I always grab the bonnet and sort of like give it a tug, make sure it's securely shut. I've learnt my lesson once. I'm not going to have that happen to me again. But yeah, that's what happened to this car. The guy got in it, bonnet didn't work. Well, it wasn't secured down. Safety latch didn't work. Of course, he went up the road, bang. Trashed the bonnet, smashed the windscreen. Didn't do too bad on the roof though. We just had, like, the body shop had just done a good job of that. So anyway, let's get this windscreen popped in. There is one stroke of luck we had. This windscreen has been up in our parts department for about 3 years. We ordered it all that time ago. It was for the wrong car. Well, we had the wrong car here. They gave us the wrong screen. So we kept it up there because they wouldn't take the screen back. And now we've got this screen, that's bloody car gone. This screen is actually the right one for the car, so we haven't got to buy one. Woo! I'll tell you one thing, you wouldn't believe the amount of dust that was on this screen. It must have been an inch thick. Anyway, got some degreaser, make sure it's all nice and clean. This is primer paint for windscreens. If you don't put this on, there's a good chance the screen won't stick. But you've got to shake it up well first. Anyhow, let's get the old gloves on. Hey, guess what, everyone? Whoa, the safety catch works! This isn't a video about how to fit a windscreen, but I'm a flipping heck, I'm telling you what, this little grille here, that was a right ass to fit. That was tight. It took about like nearly an hour to put that bloody thing in. When this come back from the body shop, I didn't actually show you this, but I took the bonnet off again because we had some spare hinges which we ordered up, because as the bonnet has got thrown back, you can imagine it's probably bent them hinges anyway. So I put new hinges on, which I know are good ones, put the bonnet back on, I've levelled it all up, adjusted these two bonnet pins because they were absolutely miles out, and you've got to route the wire in up past this hinge, through the bonnet, across. You have to use a piece of wire to get it through, and then plug it onto your heated washer jets. But yeah, it's a little bit of messing around, lining a bonnet up, especially when you've got to undo the hinge and everything. But it shuts well, it actually fits really snug now. I'm quite impressed with this because it's like a cheap bonnet. You never know how they're going to fit, but it fits well. Bingo. These A-pillar trims, especially on these BMWs, it is a very wise move to fit them before you actually put the screen back in. The reason being, they're held in by 3 little torque screws. If the camera will focus, them there, and I'll tell you, they're pretty tight to screw in. With a screen in, they're a right pain in the bum. So I'm going to put them in now. Matt! I need a lift with the windscreen!
Come in!
Bottom bit first. Nice. What's in the box? Da da da! Ooh! Ooh! These are pretty. Woohoo! Should we pop them in? So these have little clips, 4 little clips, and there's 4 tabs on this bonnet. So if I slide them bottom ones in, this should just push in. Yeah, right. Oh! Oh my God, it's gone in. First time as well. Woo! So I'll get this one in as well. Bingo! Ta-ra! There's still something missing. There. Bop! So, there you go. It's cheerio to the iconic Ford Mondeo range after 29 years. Love them or hate them, they have captured the hearts and imaginations of generations, and they will always have a special little place in many people's hearts. They do say the sales of the Mark V slumped largely due to people wanting SUVs. What they're kind of not telling you is these SUVs have tiny little 1 litre EcoBoost engines in them, so you can really impress your girlfriend away from the traffic lights, I'm sure. All I really want is to go back to the old Pinto with a great big fat Weber carburettor. Anyway guys, till the next time, see ya!